Hi, I wanted to give you a video with some of the physical literacy of why we do exercises the way we do and the reasonings behind the placements of bones and how to find either the feeling or the shape we're looking for. So, one of the most important things is actually increasing our sense of gravity. A lot of times people can't feel gravity. They don't feel how it's pulling on them. They don't feel how they're fighting it. Some of you do. When you're always trying to fix your posture, you are having trouble with gravity. You are having trouble sensing it. So try to be aware of, do you tighten your back a ton? Do you fall? Are you trying to always fix your shoulders? Because if you have to think about posture and you have to think of breathing, you're not good at either one of them. Sorry to let you know that. So, a sense of gravity is getting your breath nice and deep, letting go of your butt cheeks and just inhaling into the bottom of your body. Do you roll to the outside of your feet? Do you roll to the inside? Do you have a lot of weight on the front of your toes? Do you tend to have your head far back? All of these things will help you know how you're dealing with gravity. The second biggest thing is back extension is this shape, this huge back bend. When you do a back bend all day long for everything, for all your exercises, it can be very difficult to find any other movement, any other muscle groups. Back extensors are a good quality to get into, but you need to be able to get out of it as well because in order to get into back extension, right, you need to find back flexion. So between your sternum and your pubic bone needs to be able to go into flexion so you can go into extension. The thing of back extensors always being on, you do lose a huge sense of breathing capability and gravitational control. So if your ribs are popped out and much the front of your ribs are much higher than the back of your ribs, you're going to be in extension and lose a lot of control. Try to get the back of your ribs up higher than the front without going into any different shapes of the back. Notice your breathing habits. Do you tense your neck? Do you hold your breath a lot? Do you compress a ton here? Do you move inside of you? When you inhale and exhale, does your rib change shapes? But because if you're stuck in extension, of course you can't get air back there. You're being pushed forward all the time. You're being pulled on there. So breathing habits are huge. When you wake up in the morning, what parts go into the ground? If you're laying on your side, if you lay on this side when you wake up, all the air should go down into here easier. Breathe out. Feel how heavy you get. Inhale. This side of your body, the side of your body that's heavier on the ground, will take air in faster and fuller. If you compress one side, so if you tighten this side as you're sitting or standing, it will open the side. Air should go here easier on this side if you can keep this side closed. All of these things are really important attributes to notice. Now, the other part is acquiring rotational ability. We generally lose the ability to turn right there on our spine, front and back. This is your sternum, your breastbone. I call it the necktie in class. If you turn everything from your low back, which does it, right at the bottom of the rib cage, when you're losing the ability to control mid spine turning, you're going to turn too much at that one spot. So try to turn at your waist, but something should counter you. You never turn as much as you think you should or can through the waist. You actually have something that counters you, protects you. It's not the same as bracing because if you brace, you won't move anywhere, and now you'll overwork the muscle at the area at the bottom of the neck. So something is letting you, something is keeping you back, protecting you. Respect that. We want to turn up here. When you can't turn here, you will turn at the base of the neck or you will turn at the base of the rib cage. Both bad plans. Try to get rotational quality back. Drop one rib back. Drop one lung back. This side of your body needs to go back so this side can push forward off of it. Remember, if you are in extension, you don't have one side of your body going back. It's going forward. Everything is going forward. You want to keep something going back as something goes forward. Then you try the other way, breathing out. Breathing out just gives you space. So careful again, you're not turning right at that. Here's a great breaking point. You need a little bit of flexion, a little bit of this coming together, a little life in these muscles. You can add an arm, but does the arm help you turn or does it become a little bit of a mess? Turn your palm up, maybe reach 45 degrees down. Why is this so important? It is human function. It pumps your lungs, it pumps your heart. Your brain knows when this part of you is moving. That is walking. Being able to turn your chest, get onto one leg. This side comes alive and compresses. This side gets to expand and move into a new space. And then you switch it left, right, compressive, changing. They articulate, they play off of each other. There's a curiosity between them. They your bones talk to each other inside of you. They have a reference point to each other. It can sound corny, but when you feel it, you get it. So we want to get this rotational ability back. It's a large, it's gone for a lot of people. Large part of the population doesn't turn at their chest anymore. Their lung doesn't close up the same. The reason you want it is you can reach more. When you reach, neurological pathways open up. It's rich. It opens up the other side of the body in different ways. It stretches your chest. So when people tell me they need chest openers and shoulder openers, my number one concern is they're not turning anymore. So what are you going to do to just, what will you do to stretch your chest? You'll go into extension. The very thing I said is getting harder and harder to control. So when we do our arm exercises, so if you look from the top view, you're trying to turn, but whenever you pull one arm behind you, can you turn without going into extension? Look at the shoulder blades even sliding, the pinching through the neck. Can you find true rotation turning? So those are the main concepts we're trying to get back in all of our classes. The goals, the reasoning. I would never give anyone two arms the same unless they could manage it. So example, the person that's going to pull two arms, almost always you have to do this to get this exercise. But for most of us, it locks us up now. We don't know how to get out of it. And you can tell because your upper spine, your shoulder blades will be whatever's in front, too far forward is going to be flat. Whatever's too far back is going to be really cupped and round. So if you live with your right side back all the time, let me mirror that for you. Your right rib cage is going to be cupped back here and your left one's going to be flat. It looks like more muscle on this side, but your bones have actually changed shape. So if you were looking, again, bird's eye view, one side is cupped like that, one side is flat. For those of you with flat upper spines, both sides are being pushed forward. That's why your upper back is flat. And it's hard to get air in there because you're being pushed some way. The air is being pushed out. It needs to be able to open. Does your rib cage pull back for you so that they can both change shape? When you move your arms, they articulate. That's the shape of your spine. That's sorry, the back of your rib cage should change like that. So with articulating and playing, pretend this is the bottom of your feet because I really don't want to put my feet up on the camera. That's the bottom of your feet. That's where your toes attach to your big toe mound. This is the arch of your foot and your heel. Find your big toe mound on the floor, your pinky toe mound, the inside of your arch and the outside of your arch. Place both feet on the floor. Then what I'd like you to do is roll to the outside of your feet, pinky toe mound, outer heel, and then roll in, big toe mound, and then the inside of your arch. If you've never met George, he likes to help out. So the bottom of your foot, can you feel those points that were after here? Inside of your heel, outside of your heel. Thanks, George. This is okay. Can you do this with your feet? You'll feel your leg bones move. You'll feel your shins move, and everything's okay unless it hurts. Just you're trying too hard. You're getting locked up. Maybe your end range of motion. Just notice you can do it where you can do it too. Sitting, standing, it doesn't matter. Now, what I'd like you to do is find the reciprocating, alternating forces, which means push your big toe mound into the floor and push your outer heel. One is pushing out as one is pushing in. Breathe, control it. Are you panicked? Are you forcing? Then switch. push the outside pinky toe mound of your foot into the floor and the inside of your heel, medial heel, towards the arch of your foot. And feel it, sense it, control it, and then switch. You can do the opposite thing on the opposite foot, kind of giving you the idea, or you can do them both together, the same thing. It's up to you. But this is footwork. It keeps you alive at the bottom of your feet. Why? The bottom of your feet have so many receptors. The bottom of your feet help you breathe. The bottom of your feet sense gravity and how you're using it. The bottom of your feet connect to your core. I have everything. So try to get as much sensation back in the bottom of your feet as you can. We do a lot of seated tilts. So we don't want your back to lock up and push you back into extension. You don't want to be in flexion doing ab work. Look what it does to the whole chest as well and neck. When you breathe out, it makes your tube, a tube. Then lean back just a bit and sense the control. If you looked up, your neck is going to tighten. You can even hear the voice change. You want to keep your chin tucked a little. Come back up to seated. Breathe out before you move. Feel your pressure change inside of you and then tilt. Keep going with this one, pretty please, while I chat with you. A lot of times people will just be in a hurry to get to the exercise and lose everything about what the exercise is. Change your tubular pressure. Sense breath actually makes you change. Because when you can't change shape, you can't get into different variations of exercise. The bottom of your feet, how do you feel? How's the hips on the chair? The longer your exhale, the more you've got to push air out of your lungs, and you're managing gravity in a different way. You're slightly tilted. Many of us live this way quite a bit. There's your upper back being pushed forward. Some of us live like this. There's your lower back pushing you forward. The rest of your body's trying to compensate somehow. So adding that feeling, and then can you keep it alive when you come back up? So could you turn it on if you wanted to? That's the skill. Don't tighten your abs. Don't suck them in. You can see how distorted it makes the body. Can you find that tubular power? And then everything else, example, if you were to do a chest press or a shoulder press, is how do you manage the tube? Do you? There's a lot of people that when they try to do the exercises, they're all over. The structure isn't safe. It's not sound. We don't want to build on top of that. I hope that made a little bit of sense for you for what we're after, the why. Can you get these feelings on without compensation? If you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.